But there are a couple of Zerglings. They'll be able to do some mind dragging. But I don't think there are any overlords in the vicinity. Okay, lurkers coming up as Goliath and Medic Marine move out, the ultimate anti-air combo. So Calm, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to tackle this troop with what he has. Once the lurkers come up, he's going to be in a little bit better position. There's Calm trying to put down his hatchery, running away in disappointment. But the longer that Fantasy denies that base, the better off he's going to be. Okay, so Zergling drags the mine, but wow, look at this powerful build from Fantasy. Goliath, Medic Marine. So he's not going to have any kind of ranged tank or anything to help himself push through a lot of Sunkens. So I think at this point, if Calm throws down a lot of Sunkens, a whole lot of Sunkens, he's going to be okay. Starport coming up just to get to the science facility, I think. So Fantasy's going to have science vessels to support his Goliaths and Medic Marines. Oh, wow, Calm falling into a huge turret trap. Oh, but he gets into a safe zone, finds a little pocket of air back here that he can sit there, pick off SCVs with. Fighting back the Medic Marines. Calm actually hightails it out of there. I think he probably could have stayed a little bit longer, but he didn't want to get himself boxed into a corner, being intercepted by even more Medic Marines for Fantasy. So wow, Fantasy getting a very strong build going, getting his second engineering bay up with tanks at the front now, working from only one factory this whole time, but still a very smart unit composition from him, I think. But it could be completely destroyed if Calm can establish that third base, get up a Nidus Canal and protect it. That would make it very, very difficult, especially once the Defilers come out to tackle this type of thing. But here come the Lurkers into the middle. If Calm can get one good attack, and look at all the units that Calm has in the middle right now. I think he's going to utilize them all right now for a nice pincer attack. And right now, what he's got to do is come in from the western side of these units, try to get an excellent pincer attack, because this is a very strong Terran army. But it can go down in 2 seconds if he gets the right kind of pincer attack on this. Look at all these lurkers, plenty of lurkers to take this down, I think. The Mutalisks are basically going to be to draw the Medic Marine fire. They're going to go down pretty quick in this pincer attack. Okay, Calm looks like he's getting into position. He was waiting for some reinforcements. And now he's trying to block off all the ways that Fantasy can move out. But now he has a science vessel. Fantasy is going to be so powerful with that science vessel out there. So Calm got to snipe the science vessel. If he snipes that with a couple of Scourge, he's going to be able to get that pincer and probably eliminate all the troops from Fantasy, possibly securing himself this game. So Queen's Nest up. We're going to see the Hive tech out soon. Getting to Defilers right now, but wow, such a powerful crawling army out for Fantasy. Oh, I think we're going to see a counter attack from Calm. He's going to go in with all of his lurkers at the front at the natural expansion. Let's see if he goes for the surround or not. Not sure if he's going to commit himself to that. He's in a great position to do it because he has plenty of troops out on either side of Fantasy. So Fantasy going out with a single science vessel. Not sure if he saw those lurkers or not. I don't think he did. And Calm still not committed to the attack. Let's see if he goes for the counter or the pincer. This will be the most interesting part. I think he is getting in position for the pincer. I think he's going to do that counter at the same time. He is going in for a counter right at the front. So Fantasy pulling back with all of his troops. Look at those lurkers. Very smart from Calm. Perfectly positioned lurkers from Calm. Very smart play. And Fantasy did not see that until he had lost about half of his Medic Marine force. So excellently played by Calm there, and he's sneaking in, going to kill a lot of important tech buildings. The tanks out there, unprotected tanks in the middle of the map. So Fantasy's got to pull those back, get him back to some troops. But Fantasy has a science vessel in, so he's going to be able to clean this up. It just might take him a little bit longer to get this done. And now Calm is getting up his third base, so Calm is doing a great job, putting himself in a great position to move up into this round of 8 as long as he can keep on the pressure and get some military damage done, because Fantasy continuously pumping troops as he's dealing with this inside of his base too. So he's cleaning up everything inside of his main, cleaning that up, and now Calm looking a little bit exasperated. Maybe he wanted to get a little bit more damage done with the lurkers in there especially. But a Hive tech up. We're going to see Defilers out soon. There's the Defiler mound right there. Nidus Canal coming up for him to protect that third base. And I think he's actually going to try to plop down a fourth base right down at the 5 o'clock position. So let's see if Calm can get this done. All of Fantasy's troops are in the middle again. So the perfect timing for Calm to go into the natural yet again with even more troops trying to get himself into a position with these lurkers, but he loses every lurker at the front from a scan from Fantasy. So Fantasy didn't even pull back that time with his troops, but Calm could still get this done. Almost taking out the science vessel. Only one of the Scourge landed, though the Goliath took care of the rest. But Calm has positioned his lurkers in a way that's going to be very difficult for Fantasy to do this. Siege tanks out, so Calm's got to back off. Got to wait for a Dark Swarm to come up. Luckily, I saw that Defiler mound earlier for a long period of time, so I think he had time to get consumed. So let's see what he can do with Dark Swarm once it gets ready to go. One science vessel goes down. That's excellent this early in the game. Only a couple of science vessels out there. So Calm is preparing himself. He's kind of wedged himself into a corner. He's going to make it very difficult to run by that Hydralisk den. Fantasy going to take out an Overlord there. Let's see what is consume ready. Yes, it just got done. So we're going to see the Dark Swarm out here right now. A couple of Defilers out. Few lurkers, but such an awkward little area for the units to run by. Oh, it's going to be so difficult because Siege Tank can blast through the Dark Swarm, and that's exactly what they did. There are no more units into that Dark Swarm, so Fantasy continuous push from him, switching away from his Goliaths, I think. I don't see any extra Goliaths out there except for that one. But Shine still pushing Fantasy back as best he can. He's got to get a couple more good Dark Swarms, though. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to get this done at all. Lurker going down for Shine. Not Shine, Calm. So Calm is getting his 4th base up. Going to get that running soon. Not contested by Fantasy. Fantasy's still pushing the natural expansion. He's pushing that for all he's worth. Oh, Calm. Not sure if he's going to be able to do this. The lurker, all of the lurkers under the Dark Swarm go down. So Fantasy continuing his push, taking out the Hydralisk den. So no more lurkers out anytime soon. 4 lurkers at the front. That's all that Calm's going to have. A huge push from Fantasy. This is just excellent play from him. Not really sure where he came up with a Goliath Medic Marine. Like I said, it was probably Go-Go. Go-Go's sick, twisted mind helped Fantasy out in this game. And now Fantasy is just going standard push. He is not even committed to a 3rd base because he thinks he can get it done just with everything off of these 2 bases. And he's probably right. He probably can. Backing off a little bit, he's going to siege again to take out the units under the Dark Swarm. And Calm had kind of hidden all of his overlords at a hidden location down at the 6 o'clock position just so he doesn't lose any. But the Nidus Canal is up, so if Fantasy did attack the 5 o'clock, at least Calm would be prepared, although he's running out of units. Getting the Dark Swarm, but running out of units. I think the Nidus goes down, so Fantasy can send some troops down to the 5 o'clock position, and Calm will have no answer for that. So Calm going for somewhat of a counterattack at the front. He has quite a few troops, and he's keeping Fantasy on 2 bases right now. So as long as he defends and doesn't lose his hive, that would be so bad if he lost his hive at his natural expansion. But the hive getting ready to go down, so Calm's going to have to morph that yet again, morph a lair, and then morph a hive. Oh, wow, he's losing his entire natural expansion. So morphing the hive there and the lair there might have not been a good idea in the long run. But the Defilers being attacked by Firebats. Oh, the Firebats almost taking down the Defilers. That would have been so awesome. But another consume from a Defiler. Dark Swarm at the natural expansion of Fantasy. Fantasy's actually in a little bit of trouble at home. He does have Firebats attacking the 5 o'clock position, but he's into the main now, and curiously enough, Calm doesn't have anything out right now. He had a bunch of idle larvae there. He was morphing them as soon as Fantasy came in. I guess he was focused all of his attention at the natural expansion of Fantasy, thinking, well, I think he's only still at 2 bases. Maybe if I take this out, I'll have this game. But spawning pool snipe, oh, Calm, building another spawning pool down at the 5 o'clock position. So since he's losing this main, I think that's pretty much going to be it for Calm. If he would have protected this main, he still would have been in a great position, even if he lost his natural, lost his hive. He'd still have those 3 bases, and that would help him keep up with Fantasy, even though he wouldn't have the tech. Well, he'd still have the tech, but he wouldn't have any way of putting down any additional tech. GG from Calm. Didn't get the units out to fight that off. Very creative strategy from Fantasy, but I wouldn't expect anything less. So Fantasy takes 1, Calm takes 1, see if Fantasy can beat Pure and move out into the round of 8. So it's been Nuke, moving on.